I love chatting with our buddy Nick from MonkeyKnifeFight.com each and every week because I love looking at this website. If you've not been to MonkeyKnifeFight.com, if you love to play daily fantasy games and you haven't been there, you're doing it wrong. You need to get to this website. It's so cool. And we got Nick with us on the image printing hotline. And Nick, I want to go away from football for a minute because the baseball playoffs are coming up. We've had a couple of listeners came up to Delaney's last week and said, hey, I'm really interested in that Monkey Knife Fight site that you guys promote a good bit. And my team's not in the playoffs, and I'm not a real baseball guy if my team's not in it, but what are they doing for the baseball playoffs? I said, I'm going to ask Nick next time I talk to him. First question right off the bat, baseball playoffs, so basically 2 weeks from today, pretty much. What are you guys doing on your site for that?
To be candid, Ryan, we're doing everything we do every day, which is offer amazing baseball contests. Everything is going to be it. The great thing about Monkey Knife Fight, unlike every other daily fantasy sports company, is you can play Monkey Knife Fight for single games. So if you're watching the wild card game, you can play Monkey Knife Fight just for that one game. You can do over-unders on the pitchers that are playing. You can play a number of our awesome games, including all of the batters. We have games where you're tasked like home run derby, where you can pick 3 players, and if any of them hit a home run, you're going to be able to win some money. We have games called rapid fire, where you're playing players against each other. You could go from 2 out of 2s all the way up to 5 out of 5 and 6 out of 6 games where you can win like 20 times your money. So to answer your question, we are doing everything we do every day, sir, which is offer incredible prop daily fantasy sports games for anyone that loves sports.
And I love this. I love the home run derby part of this aspect. So if you go tonight, you got Phillies, Braves, and you go tonight, you could put Acuna and Freeman and Donaldson in. I mean, these guys have hit all over 37 home runs themselves, and you can win that way. I love the different ways you can do this and target on something you specifically know or something you're specifically confident in.
Well, yeah, and for your listeners out there, because let's face it, our style of daily fantasy sports is a little bit different. But ultimately, we have a contest that we call Fantasy Challenge, which is really catered to, those users that are a little bit more comfortable with fantasy sports only, like your classic daily fantasy sports. So effectively, you choose any 3 players in the game, and then you can actually choose your goal to what those players are going to get. So you can choose Ronald Acuna, you can choose Freddie Freeman, you can choose Bryce Harper or Reese Hopkins. And ultimately, if they score, you can choose whether it's 13.5 fantasy points, 16.5 fantasy points, or 19.5 fantasy points. The bigger the goal you target, the more money you can win. So it's ultimately we're trying to build a platform that gives everybody something to eat, so to speak. Right? Not everybody loves ribs and mashed potatoes. Some people like roast chicken. Some people are vegetarian. We have that stuff too.
I was looking here at the NFL games you got coming up, Nick. I'm a big Packer guy, and I'm looking, and one of the games you can play, you can get into the Broncos and Packers this week, and I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers, 266.5 passing yards over or under, and Joe Flacco, 229.5 over or under. I'm not going to tell people which way to go, but I'm just saying Rodgers still hadn't clicked yet. The Packers defense is good. I'm looking at the unders on both of those. So let's say I was interested in that. Let's say I'm listening right now. I'm listening to this interview, and you agree with Clary. You agree with me. I just third person myself, so somebody hit me. You take the under on both of those. So what do you win if you do something like that?
Well, for this contest right now, the payout is 2.48 your buy-in. So if you were to enter, $10, you'd win $24.80. Pretty easy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Golly, I just
what's
love
cool
this
about
stuff,
that
man.
is you have your 2 out of 2s, and you go all the way up to 5 out of 5s or 6 out of 6s on this individual game. And what is also really cool with Monkey Knife Fight is you can play individual games, and you can also play cross slates. We call those kind of star shootout games. And what's super fun is every Friday we run a contest every Friday we launch it, but it runs every Sunday. It's called Touchdown Dance. And with Touchdown Dance, which is similar to the Home Run Derby in baseball, is effectively you choose any three players across either slate, so the early games or the late games.
Right.
Choose any three players. And if all three of those players happen to score touchdowns, you share in a $2,000 bonus pool. So not only can you pick any three players and enter the specific contest to win, 2 to 5 times your money based on the goals, like we were talking about before, if all three players also happen to score touchdowns, you share in $2,000 pot for free, just as a bonus.
Wow. So obviously don't do that in a game where, say, I don't know, the Bears and Redskins are playing each other, but do that in a game where you've got two offensive-minded teams or any game the Patriots are playing in. It seems like a really good idea. There's all sorts of neat things you guys have on the site. Why is this site, and you've kind of explained it a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there, why is this site so different from your other daily fantasy games? Because I continue to talk to people who like it, but they don't like some of the other things. I'm not trying to knock other sites. They do a good job, but there's just some aspects of it they don't like. And it seems like you guys have kind of understood that, listened to that, and cleaned some of that up and formed monkeyknifefight.com.
Yeah, so monkeyknifefight.com has a couple very important differentiations. I mean, the first thing most daily fantasy sports users know that when you go to some of the competitors like FanDuel, DraftKings, hey, I'm not shy to talk about the two behemoths in the room. Effectively, you're playing against professional players. You're playing against sharks. You're playing against people that spend hours every day analyzing matchups and have sophisticated math algorithms. You literally have no chance to win. On monkeyknifefight.com, you're effectively playing against us. You're playing against the house, so to speak. So you can make your own decision, and you don't have to worry about getting beaten by some 35-year-old PhD MIT grad in their basement running with 3 computers at the same time, trying to track trends on how many throws Aaron Rodgers is going to get, and so on and so forth. So we've made our game more fair. We've leveled the playing field. And then secondly, on our platform, not only can you pick and choose from a number of different contests involving not just fantasy points, but you can also play games with single stats like you were talking about with Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco and their passing yards. But ultimately, what we want to be able to provide is also a place where people that, like you, if you only like the Packers, the Packers, and the team that they're playing this weekend, the Broncos. You don't necessarily know every single team and every single matchup on a given Sunday. You can go in and play daily fantasy sports just on the one game that you care about, just on the one team and the players that you care about. So we don't force you into trying to figure out who the third wide receiver of the Baltimore Ravens is, right?
Right.
Not everybody knows who Miles Boykin is, right? Geez, I don't even know who Miles Boykin is.
I don't even know who that is.
There you go. I think he's the third wide receiver of the Baltimore Ravens. There you have it, right? So we're trying to create a platform where the playing field is level, where it's easy to come and pick up and understand. We have a nice, easy user interface. We're not trying to service the professional players. We want the casual, average, everyday player to go to monkeyknifefight.com. You make your first deposit entering promo code 1400.
Yes, sir.
And you get a sweet deposit bonus, 100% up to $50. And we want everyone just to have a good, fun time.
I like this. I just found this one as well. And you tell me if I'm right here, if I'm reading this correctly. monkeyknifefight.com. So I'm a Packer fan. Those people know. I went to Rapid Fire, and I've got passing yards, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Flacco. Flacco's got plus 36.5. And then receptions, Devontae Adams versus Emmanuel Sanders plus 1.5. So basically, I'm saying if I take Rodgers and Devontae, that means Rodgers has to finish with 37 yards more passing or higher. Devontae has to finish with at least 2 catches or higher than Emmanuel Sanders. If I think both of those things will happen, I do that. I can win money that way as well.
Exactly. And
I love
those
that.
rapid fires, those 2 out of 2s come with slightly smaller payouts. I mean, if you go to a 5 out of 5 and you nail all 5 out of 5 on an over-under, you're going to get 20 times your buy-in, right? How often can you go to play one of those other daily fantasy sports sites and literally you can put in $5 and win $100 by making 5 correct
Holy
predictions?
cow.
Right? So, we We have options for the people that, I mean, let's face it, there's people out there that just like building their bankroll.
Right.
And they'll play safer contests. You could play contests that are, we call them a 2 out of 3 contest, where you pick 3, you can even get 1 wrong and you're still going to win.
Yeah, the
right?
2 out of 3. I'm looking at it right here.
Correct. So we really want to give options for people that want to just build slow, or people that want to shoot for the moon, right? There's people that want to put down $20 and, try and win $400. Like, why not? Right?
Exactly. I love this. I really do. I love this site. You guys got to check it out. monkeyknifefight.com, promo code 1400, and they'll match your first $50. It's really good stuff. Nick, appreciate it. Look forward to talking to you next week. We'll go into some more Panther games coming up. And, of course, the baseball playoffs right around the corner. And, guys, don't forget, the NBA. You want to have some fun with Zion, we're going to be doing it on monkeyknifefight.com. Nick, thanks for your time.
Ryan, always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.